All right, before we get started, I just want to acknowledge there is a lot going on in the world right now, particularly in Minneapolis. There are a lot of resources that you can donate to with standwithminnesota.com. And with that being said, we are going to get started with what did Prince do this week? Week 6. And this is a very slow read of Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions book series, as well as a Saturday salon. But before we get into our housekeeping, we want to make sure that we welcome back the one and only, there'll never be another, Michael Dean.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back.
And first in the chat this week, we got Andre Staley. What up, though? And happy Black History Month. That's what I'm talking about, Andre. Yes.
Yeah.
We got Cassandra Bradley, our AT-alien, and we got Anna B. Good morning, book band. I love this. A book band as you enter the purple stage. That's right, Anna B. We got April from Tampa. We got Boombox Guru. We got Sister Charles from H-Town. We got Nick Felden from Denver. We got LTKK. Hello, Syracuse and the world. My name is LTK, and I've come to read with you. That's what I'm talking about. I love this we got going on today. Love this. Love, love, love. Anna B started it, and LTKK has kicked it out of the park. And we got RTL 49 from Chi-Town. Today is RTL's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, and I love this. Thanking God every day. We hope that you have an amazing birthday today. I hope that you celebrate the entire month. I'm really big on birthdays.
Yeah.
I know Prince wasn't, but I always love birthdays, whether he liked them or not. We celebrate birthdays, so I love that. We got Drea Dances. Yes, we got a fellow Chicagoan in the house, RTL. Got Drea Dances. We got EA 8133 from San Francisco. And did someone say Chicago? LTKK says he lives there now, but was born and raised Southside. And we have Christina from Minneapolis. I have family in Seattle, so go Seahawks tomorrow. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means, Michael?
The Super Bowl is tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the Super Bowl was tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Super Bowl is football, I think. So this is the end of the football season, right?
Yeah, this is the championship game.
All right. Okay, here we go. We got somebody who can school me about football.
C. Lee, what's happening?
I was going to ask if Brother Dean was going to go to the Super Bowl since the Seahawks is in it. He's like,
I mean, I'm nothing against the Seahawks, but just going to the Super Bowl. No.
He was looking like, oh, the Seahawks there? What is that?
How much are them tickets?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, them tickets started $2,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, start with that.
Here's the funny thing. The very first Super Bowl, at the last second, they had to run out to the street and get the tickets away.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Here's something people don't know.
I didn't know.
College football until the mid to late 70s was actually more popular than professional football.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, they've been playing, look here, two things in America. When they ended slavery, they started playing college football and professional baseball. Those are the two oldest things as far as leisure and entertainment. So yeah, so for years, college football was much more fun. So now that the Super Bowl tickets are $2,000. Yeah. So there you go.
What up, Ted? What's happening? Hoodied up.
What up?
I love this purple decor you got going on. It's fire.
Long live Pretty Ricky.
Yes.
Yeah. Look like you about to go pull a move or something. What you get?
Man, look, I was actually about to go out and get my workout in. I'm raggedy. I'm raggedy. But I said, man, I gotta come and holler at my people because I ain't been in there in a minute.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
For
and
sure.
I don't know anything about is there a soccer game or something going on tomorrow?
Stop it. Stop it. I don't even follow sports, but I do know the Super Bowl.
I didn't know it was the Super Bowl until just now. I didn't know.
I know Super Bowl, Seahawks, and it was a bad bunny. That's what I've been hearing.
Y'all know the last time I paid attention to a Super Bowl, it was a Prince concert, and they happened to be playing football at the time.
Oh, I dig it.
Yeah.
What year was that again? Like
07?
07, yeah.
Man, wow. I remember where I was in life when that happened.
But
I got married. I got married that year.
Congratulations.
Here's what people forget. We talk about the 07 Super Bowl, but a few years before that, Prince previewed a new version of Willing and Able during the halftime of a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So around so it had to be 91. Like, so Prince, I remember Prince.
That was the Super Bowl when they did that?
Yep, it was during the Super Bowl halftime. They previewed Willing and Able. So yeah. So wow. and also it's funny because being in an art space and being in a Prince space, I realized that not everybody are sports fanatics. And like I was literally from 6th grade to 12th grade, I was an athlete. I actually earned a D1 scholarship to play baseball in college. But it's funny when I'm in an art space, and Brother Ted, this will be funny to you. Because so the drummer you and I both know, right? My boy Derek, his writing partner, a guitar player, fabulous guitar player, great guitar player. He was also a running back in high school. And what he learned and what I learned as artists was that he would be in the studio, but he would be talking to other musicians and other artists like the way athletes talk to each other. Like, come on, dog, get that shit together. Come on, baby, get that shit. He said, are you crying? It's like he realized that as athletes, we couldn't talk to artists. Only a few artists could talk to each other the way athletes talk to people. And I bring that up and say, bringing it back to now, one of my favorite quotes by Jerome Benton is, Jerome said the way Prince ran his camp didn't bother him because he was an athlete. And if you were an athlete, you understood how Prince ran his camp. So I just wanted to tie all that together when I think about that. Anyway, so I set up. That's enough salon, as our time people said.
No, it's not enough salon. So actually, because Ted is here, I've been dying to watch your video talking about the D'Angelo tribute, and I haven't had an opportunity to do it yet. So I want to know, what was your takeaway from the D'Angelo / Roberta Flack only 11 minutes tribute?
I dug it. I think I wish the D'Angelo portion was longer. I know they were trying to film a lot in the one spot. It was moving to me. I felt it. I didn't dig too deep off into it, but it was cool. It was cool.
All right. So like for me, I mean, just like, and I was just like, that's it. I was like, yeah. I mean, I think they could have doubled the time because it wasn't just D'Angelo, it was also Roberta Flack, right? And, obviously I'm biased against Bilal. I thought Bilal was amazing. And I was like, why didn't just Bilal do the entire D'Angelo tribute? Because I'm biased. That's just me. And so, yeah. But I was very happy to see that they, gave tribute to Jelly Bean, as well. And it would have been nice if they would have like snuck in like a time song in that D'Angelo, Roberta Flack. Yeah, for sure.
What other when are the Black Awards? When are they this year?
The BET Awards?
Yeah. I said the Black Awards, like, Afrocentric award shows. I don't really watch award shows anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
So because my wife goes to the NAACP Image Awards every year, those are usually in the summer. And if you remember, the award shows on BET are kind of up in the air. Remember, they paused them because they are whatever they need to do. So that's why you don't, because that's really why you're asking the question, Brother Ted, because you hadn't heard anything about them. Because BET announced that they were reorganizing and trying to recalibrate their award shows. And then again, like I say, the NAACP Awards, which will be hosted by Deion Cole again, are usually in the summer. The only reason I know that is because my wife flies out to LA every year because she's a secretary for the Mississippi NAACP, which means that she gets to go to the National NAACP Image Awards. And I've never used my ticket to go because I'm arrogant. I will admit I've never, because as an artist, I always said that I didn't want to go to an award show if I wasn't nominated. And I'm a writer, and they have a literary category. And I know that's arrogant, but it's just something about me like, well, you know, it's an award show. They're celebrating artists.
Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
So I've never had it. So I have literally a free ticket to go to the NAACP Image Awards, and I've never used it. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Just to say, it's actually the BET Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Awards is the ones that they've sort of canceled, not the actual BET Awards.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Very good. Yeah, the music awards. There we go.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, just the hip hop one and the Soul Train one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Cool. Yeah. So the NAACP awards are not aired live. They'll tape. So they tape them earlier and then they show the tape version. Thank you for that, Cool Music.
All right. So it was Heavenly Gains who said that the tribute initially was only scheduled for 45 minutes. Lauren fought for longer and it being more inclusive, which I give nothing but love and thanks to Lauryn Hill, because like 4 to 5 minutes. Oh my goodness.
I appreciate Lauryn Hill being there, showing up all the time.
Wow.
Let's be honest.
I know.
My baby's on the wall. They don't know what they're doing, baby.
I was like, oh my God, she's there. And I thought that, to be honest, like she was kind of like the MC of that whole tribute. And I thought she did a great job. You know what I'm a little concerned about, not concerned, but music is so not what it used to be. Black music is not what it used to be. It was really moving that we had lost so many great, that we're losing so many great artists. I mean, think about it. All of us on this screen have shared the same earth, time, and airspace with the greats: D'Angelo, Prince, Marvin, Michael. All, you know, I know some people don't love Mike, but you know what I'm saying. D'Angelo, did you say you weren't a big Mike person?
Yeah, I don't dislike Michael Jackson. It's just that I didn't listen to him. I mean, I only listened to Prince. I mean, you had to pick a side. Like when I was in high school, that's a whole nother conversation. No, Michael, you think I'm being funny, but
no, I'm just saying the situation is funny. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I mean, so like, you know, what's crazy is I watched the Princeton Revolution live show. And I felt some kind of way when I saw someone in the audience with a Thriller jacket on, because during that era, it was so Michael Jackson versus Prince at my high school. And it was just like literal fights about Michael Jackson versus Prince. Wow. There were cliques. It was like super real. And no one could be on both sides. You had to like pick a side.
Banging
on. Yes.
Hanging on Thriller.
Hey. Yeah, we were. It's real. I'm serious, Michael. And I know it sounds silly.
It's not silly. We were more probably. It must sound so. It was more of a Jesse Johnson versus Prince for the cats. I was, you know, who you can be.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying. I know what you mean.
See, Audra went to. So I went to 2 high schools. My first 2 years, I was at Walker High, where Audra was, and then I went to Southwest DeKalb, where Ricky was, and both of those, I really wish Ricky was here right now. I always wish Ricky was here, but right now in particular, because he would go like, yeah, D'Angelo, that's right, because it's right. And you just don't, because, you know, that was so long ago. And like Ted just said, music was everything. You know, music was serious business. You know, like I still revolve my life around music, but our lives were revolved around music, not this social media stuff and all of this. So it was like, serious business. So yeah.
And I would say to the social media point, you didn't see artists as readily. So that's really what made award shows also. Like we forget, I think those of us forget that Black Beat, Rock and Soul, Right On, Ebony Jet, Rolling Stone, a little bit later Vibe, those of us who read Musician. What's up, Brother McCullen? And thank you for what you posted, brother. That was excellent. What you posted was excellent. But so they were special because those were the only times you were going to get them. That's right. Gloves versus lace. I like that. There you go. That is hilarious.
Both of them glossy as hell.
So I mean, you were not going. Think about it. The award show sometimes was the first time you were going to get to see Prince's new look. Right. I remember. I remember right after. One of the things I remember is right after Sign of the Times, when Prince was up for an award and he's at the Grammys, but Prince showed up in his Love Sexy look, and my cousin literally called me like, "What the fuck Prince did to his head?" He literally called me. My cousin was mad at the Love Sexy look. So I think that social media and a lot of other things have made award show not as special. So that those things have been devalued in a way that movie award shows haven't, because there's still a bit of space between actors, although actors on social media too. But now most people in music, their whole livelihood is social media. Like they don't need a record company, right? So most people in music now, they're in your face every day. So actually seeing them on an award show, it's just not a special moment anymore. I'll shut up.
I wanted to just go all the way back to, we were talking about the Michael versus Prince. And I wanted to say, I think for all of us that's on here, we can look back at it now through some life experience. And we done lived through a couple of cycles of artists. Obviously, like we said, the music is totally different how it's, seen, at least from our perspective today. But I think one thing I want my younger folks to just notice the patterns. The same way she was talking about Michael versus Prince, and you see it online still. You see, we lived through Biggie and Tupac. Mm-hmm. We are living, for this generation, it would be the Drake and Kendrick situation. But I do wanted to say that I think we should look at the fact, in my opinion, this all just sort of stems from there can only be one sort of mentality that just subconsciously just seeps through. Unfortunately, our artists, and in music, we're talking about music in particular, just look at the pattern of that and why you think it's like that. Because, I wish that there wasn't the Michael versus Prince situation back then. Because you imagine, now we look back on it and we see how great that was, how it moved the world. You could only imagine the power them two brothers would have had on a somewhat seen united front. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way the artists are today, they stand next to each other and they do. You can only imagine that them two brothers, they was the new generation of music and just the new sort of face of Black culture to a lot of people. They accepted Michael Jackson, whereas they might not accept it in the same way of Rick James. Rick James speaks on this between him and Prince, right? And sort of how society views them, skin tones and all that kind of stuff. So I just say all that to say, we don't want to waste and miss our art. Like, it's a shame that Biggie and Tupac are not here. Right? That was a sad ass moment when that happened. I was so into both. I was just depressed. And I would hate, and we've seen many other artists, unfortunately, leave through foolishness, which we never saw that back in the day. The artists were the superheroes of our culture. We treated them like heroes. They came, and when they came into town, everybody, gravitated to them. Not everybody didn't attack them. So, I just think we got to realize there's the other side of when we sort of pit our own situations against each other. And I think we're at the end of it now where it's like, the artists are being attacked in real life and on social media. And I don't know if we win with that. And I just think for us as the older statesmen, we should, I'm just trying to send in the message to the youth, like, yo, you know what? We've seen this play. You know, it was a little more innocent back when we was, because it was for fun, but we've allowed it to sort of spiral out of control. And, you know, it's something different now. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree. And for people to understand that somebody who doesn't like the artist you like is not an attack on your person.
Right.
I think we love artists so much that if somebody say they don't like that artist or they don't like that rock that artist, they feel like, oh, you don't rock with me, which it's not, we don't know you, right? Because I'll see, that's why it's like one of the things I don't read the comments anymore, because I'll see people in whatever debates. And I think, what was it? I'll be honest, I've never watched an episode of it, but what's it called? What is it? Champ Drink Champs.
Oh, Drink Champs.
Champs. So, and I guess they do the little question thing. So they put up a compilation of their Prince versus MJ, right? And I was just looking at some of the people. Like, I wasn't really, you know, concerned about who was choosing who. I was just looking at the people. But I made the mistake of looked in the comments. And when I saw these people in the comments going off on each other, like, hey, these people are not attacking your person.
Right.
And so I think that we have to understand that we all know that art is subjective, but just because, again, it's and I think, so I'm glad you said that, Brother Dean, that we have to say to young people, hey, somebody not rocking with the artist or the music you rock with, it's not them having an indictment on the kind of human being you are. And to reverse it, how you see yourself should not be so wrapped up in an artist that you love that you feel personally assaulted or insulted when somebody doesn't like your artist. That's it. I'll shut up.
And I just want to add, it's real quick. I'm going to make it real short. It's interesting. And I love that it gets harder and harder because we've sort of injected one way or the other. Everything is in the music. So if that artist says this one political sort of stance and that is against this other person's, you know, it just creates this atmosphere of just, and I kind of hate to see it. We see this in the Prince community, right? Like, it goes beyond the music. Like, it, you know, the temperature is so high that, you know, people going at each other for just the littlest things. And I think sometimes we forget that it's okay if the music has a different stance on something that you do. To me, that's the allure of it. Like, I wasn't always into some of the things I heard in rap, but it allowed me to see things from a different perspective, at least. And I said, I don't agree with their stance, but why I never knew the circumstances behind some of the situations. So I just wanted to add that.
I want to say that something special about Prince, and I'm gonna say this in light of like the names in that whole controversy with them files. You know what I'm talking about? You know the names. I'm like, not you. I'm like, come on. And I'm like, every time I think about Prince, I'm like, man, my guy did work and he got off this rock unscathed. You can't say nothing about that. And we're talking about his royal badness, the weird dude, all that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, his whole arc, all you really find out about him is all the good he did without wanting recognition or whatever. So that's a special thing, man, to me. And I believe it is for y'all as well. I'll shut up.
It is. So one of the things I want to say is this is Black History Month, but in my personal opinion, every month is Black History Month. And I think what I try to do when we were having this conversation about Michael Jackson versus Prince in high school, which were mid 80s, I'm saying it not to be provocative, but to have it a record that is what was going on, at least at my high school. I don't know what was going on in other high schools. I think it's really important that we don't erase history. So I am here, speaking to history to make sure that you understand. Now, like Ted said something that is really critical that we often forget. Prince was the weird dude.
Right.
If you liked Prince, you were weird. You were kind of ostracized. So when we're talking about this Michael Jackson versus Prince in high school in the 80s, I'm not talking about now, it took something to be a Prince fan.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I would walk through the high school, all my Prince buttons on my jacket, and I didn't care because I knew that Prince didn't care. Like, that's what Prince gave me. He gave me that confidence to walk in what I liked, who I wanted to be. And I just want everybody to know, like, when I said it was serious business, it was serious business. I am not making light of this. But what happens is, because that was so long ago, 40 plus years ago, we forget.
Right.
And I just, I think it's really important to remember this context because we're so far removed from that time, we think that Prince was always like, had a flower bed of roses. Prince didn't always have a flower bed of roses. And the people who actually liked Prince didn't always have a flower bed of roses. You were called a freak because you liked Prince.
Right.
You were called a weirdo because you liked Prince. That was real. That I didn't make that up.
Right.
So I just trying to provide context, particularly for our young listeners who may not have that context. And again, it probably sounds really silly right now, but it was not silly in 84. 83, 45, 87, 88. It wasn't funny.
I went to an all black high school, small black high school, wore heels, you know what I mean? Ticked my mama off for the amount of eyeliner I took from her.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said you wore heels to school?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah. All black high school. And I'm talking about I went to school with some killers, you know what I mean? But interestingly enough, these same folks, friends on Facebook, and a lot of them will be like, they will talk about the admiration for being able to walk into that environment and be the weird dude. You know what I mean? It took a little bit to, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but you had to, sometimes I'm walking to school, you know what I mean? And my heart beating out my chest. I'm like, who am I fighting today? You know what I'm saying?
You say, couldn't nobody tell you nothing.
Right.
Man, listen, Linda. Listen. Y'all don't want me to pull out that prom picture, boy.
Man, yes, we do.
This prom picture.
My man was rocking the heels. Okay. Hey, you know what? Oh, Sheila, you dig?
And I mean, I think that point we talking about the timeline, because I always like to correct the timeline. Because I'm like you, it bothers me when people start talking that and they'll say Thriller and Purple Rain. And I need to say for the 1 millionth time, you say Thriller and Purple Rain, it proves to me that you're stupid and don't understand. Because the album that propelled Prince into that was 1999. And what I tell people all the time, go watch Midnight Stars, No Parking on the Dance Floor video. Just go watch that video. Because, and I'm not going to get into the whole soliloquy why that's important with Midnight Star planting their flag. We want to be the new funk band. We want to replace Cameo. We want to be the 80s best funk band. And we're looking at Prince and Michael Jackson. And the Prince that's in the Midnight Star video is the 1999 Prince. It was the 1999 Prince that was kicking in the effing door. It was the 1999 Prince who was the rude boy. It was the 1999 Prince where everybody was saying, yeah, Mike is the super pop star. Mike is this. But this purple motherfucker over here, this motherfucker with controversy and dirty, I mean, that's to D'Angelo's point. It was like Mike was the accepted mainstream. He was little Mikey Jackson from the Jackson 5 to the Jacksons, and then now Thriller. You're right. You had to put it in that context. That's right. He's doing the little red Corvette dance in that. So 1999 Prince was the hood Prince, right? it's difficult for people to understand that Rick James and Prince were the Tupac and Biggie of their day. And I've been trying to find it. There's a clip online where Beyonce talks about her aunt was going to a Prince concert, and Beyonce and her sister started crying because they thought her aunt was going to get turned out by Prince. That's the kind of reputation that Prince had. That Beyonce said, we started crying because we didn't want her to go to the Prince show because she was going to get turned out. That's who Prince was. And it's a little white cross stuff about letting people really understand. And I think it's because when you then understand that,
Lord,
you really do understand how amazing the success of Purple Rain. And I end on this. It was either Rock and Soul or Black Beat. A journalist wrote, all Purple Rain is the pervert Prince trying to clean up his perverted act to be popular. If you understand that, that's how hood and street and alternative Prince was. And I think that needs to be, you're right, that needs to be kept in the record to understand just who Prince was courageously as an artist. I'll shut up.
All right. So I know our timekeeper has given us time, but I got to say one more thing. One more thing. Positive. Okay. So, things are a little stressful right now. And, like last year when Sign of the Times Live in IMAX fell out of the sky, I was like, yes, this is amazing. This is the fuel to my fire to keep me going. This week or last weekend, whenever Scott McCullough,
yes,
that Daddy Pop edit, I was like, that is incredible. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, Celie, gotta see this. I was like, Celie has got to see this. So if you haven't seen Scott McCullough's edit of Daddy Pop, as that lady told me when I first went to go see Avon Ailey, you have not lived until you've seen that edit of Daddy Pop, because it is amazing. So I really, really, really loved it.
Yes, indeed, McCullough. You man, you look here. He had me going back to my Arsenio Hall. If the MPT is like, he had me doing that all day, baby. Had me doing my Arsenio Hall. Boy, I doing it all day.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. So we haven't even started our housekeeping yet. So let's do that with quickness.
Wait, D'Angela.
Wait. All right.
D'Angela.
Yeah.
Wait, where's it?
Ooh.
Oh. Close up on them heels now, honey.
I gotta find one with that on it. Katrina got a lot of stuff, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh,
you look suited and booted. You look good on there.
You was clean, brother. You was clean.
Yeah.
Suited.
My little Apollonia baby on my arm.
Oh Lord.
So Ted, I just put something in our private chat. Do that so I can share it with the peoples.
Put you on blast.
Yes, we want to see that. We want to see that a little bit closer.
You look more like Obama.
Lady cab driver, Ted says you look more like Obama than Prince.
You was doing early Prince as Brian Gumble. That's what you did.
Right.
Oh my goodness. All right. So let's get started. Ted's gonna come through. I know. All right. So this is week 6. I can't believe we're week 6 already. What did Prince do this week? I am so happy to be here with my brothers. And we're going week to week, not day to day. One day you'll figure that out. And this week we are reading Monday, February 3rd, 86, to Wednesday, February 5th to 86. So Kim, just so you know, we don't have that much reading, so we can salon all day if we want to. And we are reading this book, and the paperback one is the one that has Celie reading the comments. Yep, everybody. Okay. Everybody knows.
What's the page again? See, just like high school.
Well, it's about the date. So the date is February 3rd is the one we're going to start on. And I think you're volunteering because you're already going to be lined up.
Is that what I'm saying? Look, I ain't got my glasses on. I ain't got no readers.
You got to get the magnifying glass. I haven't seen
I ain't there yet.
You got to get there. Sooner the better.
This is written for young people.
Okay. Ain't it cold when you start to age out of a book? You could read it before, but now a few years later, like, God, I can't read it.
Like I said, everybody's a gangster until you ask them to read a paragraph out loud. Where we at?
So we're like February 3rd.
We start with the Eric Leeds or what?
Yeah. You gonna get it started?
I'm gonna rock this thing for you.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it because Kim was like, let's get this reading started.
Okay, here we go, Kim. Me and Bliston flew to Minneapolis from Atlanta on I'm struggling. February 2nd. Went to the warehouse that night to set up our gear, and the next day, rehearsal started. That was with the new expanded Revolution with Bliston, myself, Miko Weaver, Jerome, Wally Safford, and Greg Brooks.
Whoa, when you turn the page, it's like, whoa.
I'm not gonna make you read all this, but read until you get tired.
I'm already tired.
It's like, can I stop at beginning?
At the beginning of January, a memo was distributed to the band members to announce that rehearsals for the new Revolution with an expanded lineup were slated to begin at the Washington Avenue warehouse in, how do you pronounce that? Adina?
Yeah,
Adina.
You got it.
Because of the breakup of the family, Prince added Jerome Benton, Miko Weaver, and Eric Leeds to the Revolution. Susanna Melvoin was not officially part of the band, although she would sing during several of the shows that year. He'd also include his bodyguards, Wally Safford and Greg Brooks, both of whom were part of the Baby I'm a Star finale during the Purple Rain tour as dancers, and Matt Bliston, aka Atlanta Bliss, on trumpet. Trumpet is not an easy instrument, explained Bliss. And to play the instrument in front of Prince 14 hours a day, that was definitely a challenge. Prince kicked me in the ass and I enjoyed it. Not everyone was happy with the tour planned as a bigger funk review type show with an expanded band, and likely that it was being referred to as the New Revolution, as tour manager Alan Lees recalled, and I'm tapping out right there. That's way too small.
Okay, I'll do it. I think. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me do this real quickly. Okay. I think there was.
Add, you call them by the guys, but I call them my friends. All right, go ahead, keep reading.
It took me a second.
It took me a second too, but that's brilliant, Celie. Love that. Okay, I think there were some members of the original, and this is Alan Lees. I think there were some members of the original Revolution who felt that the unit hadn't said everything it wanted to say and saw it as, we're the group that made it, and everybody else is an invader of our turf kind of thing. Not really with malice, not with bitterness, not with resentment of the people, because quite frankly, most of the new members were welcomed with open arms once it became apparent with Prince's vision. Because, I mean, let's face it, Jerome and Eric, I mean, they were already friendly with these guys. They were already friendships, so it wasn't of a personal nature. It was just that for a couple of these kids, all of a sudden, their whole dream existence had been reinvented behind their backs, so to speak. I do think it's really important, and I also often forget that everybody is really young right now. Like, we're talking about young, like, you know, what? Wendy was probably still like 19, 20, if. So you have to keep that in mind. He never announced SHIT to us, declares Wendy. It was at rehearsal, and they were behind me, and I kept going, well, when are they going to get out of my space? They're right behind me next to my amp, and I'm like, what is happening here? But we were like, all right, we'll just see where this goes. The boss brought us in. It was the boss's idea. It was the boss's journey. And how could the boss be wrong when the fans love it? As Jerome explained in 2017 to me, D'Angela Duff, on her Behind the Film podcast. Thank you, Duane, because that was one of my favorite conversations. And at that time, Jerome wasn't talking to a lot of people. So I was very, very honored that he would talk to me. I was there to help have fun, and I did my job, and I loved doing my job. It didn't matter what anybody else thought. I was working with my friend, or let's say my boss, my mentor, my friend. Alan expanded on Prince's reasoning for the bigger show. His music was growing, and the irony is that Lisa had so much to do with him opening up to new music. But so did Eric, and so did Sheila in their own ways. They brought him to things that he hadn't heard before. His palette had grown so tremendously that 5 pieces weren't going to handle it. And here comes Eric, and he says, get a trumpet player so we can do parts. And now it becomes the Counter Revolution.
Which is my name for the band. Keep going.
Yes, a lot of people's name, actually, because if you were to see what I had put in the slide deck, I said Counter Revolution versus New Revolution. And so I'm going to skip this next paragraph, but for a short period, Prince was looking at how he could creatively double the size of the revolution. Susan Rogers remembers, this was a time when he was experimenting with the structure of the band. He wanted Sheila in there in some capacity. Of course, he wasn't ready to lose Bobby Z, but he was trying to figure out how he could incorporate Sheila and her band into his own band. Prince's mother is a twin, and he kind of had this twin concept going on. He was looking for a manner of getting Susanna in the band, who is Wendy's twin, and having Miko Weaver be in the band to have sort of 2 of everything. Alana Bliss was around. Now he had 2 horn players, and he was trying to figure out how he could have a whole band made of twins. And he was thinking of dressing Lisa and Matt Fink alike. You know, he was thinking of this whole twin concept. They rehearsed it a few times, but it didn't work out. Rehearsals were slated to officially begin at noon, but it was understood that everyone arrived earlier, so they weren't docked. The January memo was clear about that and listed that a $250 late fine will be enforced and that there were no exceptions. We were always at rehearsals, remember Lisa. We just went every day at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was usually from then until 7 p.m. as a schedule, and we usually played late into the night, ordering hamburgers or whatever. It was like a normal job. We'd get set up in the morning, and Prince would come in a little later than us, and you never knew what kind of mood he would be in. We waited as he walked up the mic, and either he'd say something like, being normal, okay, let's start at the top of the show, or he'd say, and this was the most annoying thing, when he'd say, big up. It was like, oh, he's in a bad mood. As he did with his concerts, practically all his rehearsals were videotaped. As he did with his concerts, practically all his rehearsals were videotaped. This is a really important line, not for posterity, but for something more immediate. Recall Bobby Z. Documenting what we did was commonplace, and he used it as a tool to improve. We would watch videos as part of our rehearsals, and it caused a dramatic improvement. When you see yourself look stupid, you fix yourself a lot better. All he had to do was show it to you. Prince had given the band a sheet with approximately 24 songs to learn, including Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, which was written by Dave Curley Williams and James Fay Roy Hall, but made popular by Jerry Lee Lewis, and 2 songs by Joni Mitchell, A Case of You and Blue Motel Room, which was one of the several songs rehearsed but never performed on the tour. And this list was daunting to some of the band members, including Eric Leeds. And this is Leeds. I remember that the original set list that we got for what would have been the Parade tour, which never really was a tour, it was just a bunch of running gigs. It must have been about 25 or 30 songs, including a lot of older stuff and some things that we never even really got around to doing. And for some of those older songs, like I Want to Be Your Lover and Soft and Wet and some of those things, that was the first time that I ever listened to those songs, and probably the last time I ever listened to them. That is such an Eric line. I was going to read that. Yes.
We love you, Eric.
We love you, Eric. We love you. So honest. Let me read this one more time, slow, so you get it. That was the first time that I ever listened to those songs, and probably the last time I ever listened to them. On any given day for the first couple of weeks, we'd be working on maybe just a handful of songs every day. And then finally, until we got a show together, that we could start to work on it. It it was coming in and then running the show down once or twice a day or something. We might run the show down and then we just jam for the rest of the day. It's a lot in this this one day. So
you missed. I think Kim had the best comment to sum it up, and it also means that Kim was watching BET back in the day. Kim put so if you can find what Kim put, it was the perfect passage.
Let me see.
I know Kim watched BET. There it is. Go to hell. Left the gate open.
Oh my God!
Remind me where that is from. Is that Arsenio or something?
No, that's a BET used to run. Remember how they used to sell albums? Do you remember when BET used to sell?
Oh, you mean the commercials?
Yeah, commercials. So
okay, yeah.
That is from actual A.C.L. Franklin sermon. So they used to sell the double album gospel. I'm coming up. Yeah, coming up, Jesus. Side of the mountain. Who in the hell left the gate open? Oh, extra for $9.99.
Whoever ordered those, actually, that's what I was wondering.
So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The other one with my man from No, my brother.
You got to get your own.
You got to get your own.
Yeah, that's classic.
I remember that one.
Greer.
Yes, for sure.
Character name.
All right. So how did we all feel about the new or counter revolution?
So let me start by saying, and I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers, because remember, I don't have a favorite Prince musician. I don't have a favorite Prince band, because for me, Prince's true genius was the way he always found the right musicians to articulate the sound that was in his head. So because Prince always found the right musicians to articulate the sound, yeah, you're right, Brother Blade. That damn snake in that video, in that commercial scared the hell out of me. Yeah, I was scared. I thought the snake actually came with the alarm system. Let's move on. So I was scared as hell of that snake. But so Prince was always a solo artist to me. See, if you there before Purple Rain, Prince was a solo artist. So every time the band changed, it wasn't an affront to how I saw Prince. It was just a new way in which Prince was expressing himself. So when I saw the counter revolution, other than saying it's a lot of motherfuckers up there, like that's really all I said was, hey, a lot of motherfuckers up there. Let's go on. So, but I think that, and I don't mean to speak for anybody, and I'll shut up on this. I think for people who kind of got in Purple Rain after, they knew the revolution for them was kind of part and parcel Prince. So I get that for people who came in at that time, it's kind of like let's do this. It's kind of like DC and Marvel origin stories, and I'll give you an example. My favorite Batman origin story is actually not the original origin story. My favorite Batman origin story is that his parents were killed by Jack Napier, and Jack Napier eventually became the Joker. That's the origin story that a lot of people know, but that's actually not the original Batman origin story. So I get it if for a lot of people, Prince and the Revolution is their Prince origin story, but my Prince origin story was Prince as a solo artist. Therefore, him changing the bands didn't ever impact me the way it did a lot of people. I'll shut up.
But Seeley, back to the whole sports analogy that you were using earlier. Now, famously, I ticked everybody off in the Prince's sphere by saying that this Prince not knowing music theory is a myth. It's a myth. It's a myth. Right. It's absolutely untrue. Where do we hear? I'm coming back to that. Where do we hear a more sophisticated, more refined Prince with the introduction of horns? You get these horn arrangements. If I said, yeah, you know what? Wendy and Lisa were probably in the revolution, the early days of the revolution, were the literate musicians. let's do this. But Prince knows I'm gonna put this person in this position to do this person to do this. And here's the thing about the theory thing that drives me up the wall. I know it's a little bit, a little bit of a side quest here, is that music is the only field where ignorance or illiteracy is praised. And I'm like, or like given to like some sort of osmosis. I'm like, look at the people that Prince hired, especially later on. Okay. All of them, Ron, all of them, these people with deep jazz backgrounds. And then let's think about Prince's work ethic and his ego. You think for a minute that Prince was going to let any one of them people know more than he did?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm a little passionate. It was a little side quest right there. But I agree with you, Celie, about the origin story, because it was, soft and wet. I want to be a lover, dirty mind, all that. And everything else is just, he elevates himself to this, this quarterback. You know what I mean? This quarterback and then a coach. I'm just putting you where I need you. I'll shut up.
Which to this point, and I know Prof. Duff talks about this a lot. Prince also doesn't get enough credit as band leader. I would love to see an article or even a book about great band leaders and Prince be included. And I don't think that we've actually, when people interview people, they talk about Prince, and to talk about all the people playing this band, purely talking about, because they'll talk about Prince as songwriter and producer, and how Prince worked with the musicians as songwriter and producer. But I would love to hear Levi and Sheila and even Eric them talk about Prince as band leader. And once Eric get past Body Heat, I'm sure he's gonna have a lot to say good about Prince as band leader. All right, I'll say that again.
All right. So one thing I was going to bring up later that I had at the end of the slide deck, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up because this actually ties into what Ted is talking about. I've started watching it. I'm almost at the end of part 1. I haven't gotten to part 2, but what Chris speaks about here is in part 1 of the interview that Sheila did with Sean Stockman. It's a really good interview. I wish that this is my first Sean Stockman interview. I wish he would allow Sheila to talk more. I don't know if he does this with all of his guests or if
he does. Yes, he does.
Okay. So one of the things that Sheila says is that, she's not able to read music. And so I understand that point that you're making, Ted, is that, some musicians, see it as, I don't know necessarily if she said it like as a source of pride or whatever, but there is that narrative of, theory versus non-theory musicians, which I find very, I don't know. I just find it odd. And I'm with you in terms of Prince New Theory, because he was calling out chords all day long. If you listen to any of the rehearsals, so I mean, if you don't know what theory is, how are you going to be like calling out chords and stuff? And then another thing too, like if you've ever seen or heard Prince in rehearsal when he takes over somebody else's instrument, if he didn't know theory, how would he be able to just like jump right on in, double Dutch? He just
no man that says that is, and we can all agree, no man who says I am music
right
is gonna be illiterate to theory. And I want to speak to reading music, being a quote unquote literate musician. We all know more language theory than we think, right? But we're not necessarily English teachers, but we know that periods go at the end of sentences and where question marks go and all of those things. Did Prince have a need to read music like someone else? No, absolutely not. It doesn't mean that if you sat quarter notes and eighth notes in front of him, he wouldn't know what those were.
Right.
Or Sheila or anyone else. But I think it's dangerous to younger musicians, particularly. It was dangerous for me as a younger musician to think, oh, well, you know, so-and-so didn't read music. And the truth is that some of those people, like Louis Armstrong didn't read music. Louis Armstrong didn't have access to being able to read music, but if he had access, something tells me he wouldn't be like, I'm gonna skip that class. I'm gonna just do it. And becoming a literate musician, albeit late in life, opened up so many more opportunities, so many more doors, because when all things were equal, when we need a guy to play bass or do whatever, okay, both of you guys can play. Only one of you is like dangerously good looking. I'm kidding. We need somebody, we need somebody to be able to read. I'll shut up. I'm passionate about that though. So
I can tell, and it's important to be. Go ahead, Celie.
So I'll say, and maybe Brother Ted, you'll jump back in on it. This actually happened 2 weeks ago, and I'm telling this more as a balance. So my grandson, 9th grade, he plays in the trumpet. He plays trumpet, plays in the high school marching band. So they're coming to Black History Month, so they wanted somebody to play Lift Every Voice and Sing. He had never played Lift Every Voice and Sing. So we go to the church. It's 3 musicians. It's a piano player he's about the same age as my grandson, but he's been playing the piano since 3 years old, right? The choir director who's a drummer, and then my grandson. My grandson had never played Lift Every Voice and Sing, so he had the notes on his phone. And so he's having the phone, he's looking down at the phone, and he's struggling. And even I'm kind of like, damn, he plays in a band, right? So he's struggling. And after about what seemed like 5 of the longest damn minutes of my life, the music director, who's the drummer, got up, took my grandson's phone from him, and said, Joshua, now remember we're in church, he said, play the freaking song. And so my grandson then took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and played the song. And so I asked the guy, I said, what was, because I was worried that my grandson, he said, no. He said, your grandson could read the notes. That's what your grandson was trying to do, read the notes. He said, the problem is that the piano player was playing it at a different time and at a different note than what your grandson had in front of him. And I needed your grandson to just feel the damn song and play it. As long as your grandson was looking at those notes, he was never going to be able to play the song because the other musician was playing it at a different time and at a different note than he was playing it. And so that's speaking to the point where, yes, reading music is important, but also just being able to let your natural instincts take over. And I think that's what the music director was trying to get my grandson to do, to a point that if you know theory and if you know all these things, but you don't trust your natural inclinations, then you'll never become the musician or any kind of artist that you want to be. And I want to know if I'm doing that right, Ted.
So there's balance, right? There's definitely balance. And you've heard of stories of like guys who have been incarcerated for a long time who were illiterate when they went in and they started reading and then they wanted to read everything, right? The world opens up, but it's a balance. A quick example. There's a singer that I play with here in New Orleans from time to time, and she's always reading the lyrics to Outstanding and Sweet Thing. And I say, sis, listen, you sing them songs 2-3 times a week. And besides, at this point, those are a part of the Black American Songbook. You're supposed to just know them. You understand what I'm saying? But if I have to onboard new material, being able to read certainly helps. When I need to express an idea, any idea, to another person, I ain't got all day to express that idea. So I need to have the language. I need to be able to speak the language for them. I need them to be able to understand that language as well, so that we can get from point A to point B with efficiency. You know what I mean?
And I like what Chris Starfish. I like your point, because you may not know, like, I'm a poet and a short story writer, and I've done some literary criticism. You're right that it is sad although I'm more of a print person. She's right. I'm guessing what Crystal is right that often writers who are more engaged in spoken word get put on a lower level than poets who are more interested in print, in publishing. And so, although I am someone who my whole goal was to publish and not necessarily be a performer, I do try to speak to the fact that in academic spaces, because spoken word was so more valued in the African American space, that people who were engaged in spoken word never got respected, never got uplifted. And it took poets like Patricia Smith and Clint Smith, who are not related, by the way, but poets like Patricia Smith and Clint Smith, who won awards as spoken word slam people, to then cross over and win major literary awards to show that, hey, I can be a spoken word artist and also cross over into the literary world and dominate that space too. I'll share it. Thank you, Chris.
I'm sorry. Can I just give one more point to your grandson example? There's a keyboard player I was playing. We were playing with a 3-night-a-week Bourbon Street thing, and we were playing "I Will Survive" with a sister that had come in to sit in, and "I Will Survive" is a standard. It's a working man's music, right? And she was trying to take some creative license with the tune. But this is all piano in the beginning. So we're relying on the keyboard player, and he's not able to follow her. And I look, and he's got his eyes buried in a chart on his phone. And I didn't reach that stage where I'll just be like, hey, bro. I've earned that, I think.
Yeah.
Hey.
Clean it up.
Hey, your ears still got to work, player. I mean, so there's balance. There's balance.
And to that point, I know, and I'll close it out for me on this. I love Miles Davis' autobiography. One of my favorite stories from Miles Davis is when Herbie Hancock got the gig to go on the road with Miles. And so Herbie had learned all the songs. He knew he was jamming. He knew he was smoking. And Brother Ted, he said, every night we playing, we cooking. He said, every night we get to my part, and Miles is looking over his shoulder like he's disgusted. But I don't know what's going on because I'm playing everything. I'm doing it. We grooving and people saying, but every night Miles is looking at me like he wants to choke me. And finally, after the 5th or 6th night, Miles, excuse me, but Miles, Herbie said, Miles to him like, Herbie, what the fuck you doing? And Miles is like shocked. Miles like, I'm playing the songs, Miles. And Miles said, not the same fucking way every fucking night, man. So, like, the fact that Miles didn't even want to hear his own these are Miles' compositions, right? The fact that he didn't even want to hear the songs that he wrote the same way every night. That was just always hilarious to me, but it spoke about injecting creativity into a form. Go ahead.
D'Angela, you're a professor. You guys hit to this 4 stages of consciousness?
No, I'm not hip to it.
So like you're on the ground level, unconscious not knowing. You don't know what you don't know, right? Yeah. Then you get to the next level, and then there's an unconscious not knowing. You're made aware of everything, all of your shortcomings, and this is, where you have to kind of embrace the suck. I don't care if it's music or anything else, right? You embrace the suck, and then you get to the next level, which I think is what you're describing, Celie, with Herbie Hancock, is that you're at a conscious knowing. You're good, you're competent, but every time you go to perform that act, you're thinking about it. And what we are all striving to do, I think, like riding a bike, is get to that unconscious knowing where whatever it is that you do, so well, you can do it without thinking. I'll shut up.
So there's a really good book, and I cannot pronounce this guy's name. I'm going to try, but the name of the book is Flow, and it's by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And it really talks about when you get in, if you are a creative person, that you always are seeking to get in the flow state, when you are no longer thinking and you're just really embodying whatever you do, like you don't eat, you don't sleep, time goes by, you don't even know, you're just like in this flow state. So that's how I think about it. And I'm always trying to get my students to, because I'm teaching seniors right now, and I'm actually going to talk about this on Monday. It's so important as a creative person to get an uninterrupted flow state. So in order to get into an uninterrupted flow state, you can't have no phones doing notifications. You can't have these ding, ding, ding things. And it's really hard, to get my students to understand that when they're so used to being distracted. And it's all about like microdosing, like these dopamine hits of, like I watched my cousin look at TikTok. It was literally like, and I was like, that's stressing me out. And then she was like, this is she literally said, this is calming to me. I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, different people.
Yeah.
You guys ever see the movie 28 Days Later?
Yes, this is one of my favorites.
The best zombie movie.
Oh, that's why I've never seen it. There we go. Okay, I was like, 28 days. You said zombie. There you go.
Here's the thing. Now, first off, I evaluate everyone I know by where they might be on the zombie apocalypse team. Are you going to be an asset or a liability? You know what I mean? But the beginning of that movie is this monkey or chimp, this primate tied to a chair watching all this stuff, right? And these animal if we haven't seen the movie, listen, that's how the zombie apocalypse starts, by the monkey being infected with rage. And sometimes I'm like, yo, I just deleted Facebook and Instagram off my phone this morning. I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. But anyway, I swear I'm going to shut up now.
No. I really appreciate what you're saying. First of all, for those of you who are into your actors, Cillian Murphy is in 28 Days Later. If you don't know who Cillian Murphy is, maybe you've seen Peaky Blinders. And if you know, like Tommy for Peaky Blinders, then you know who Cillian Murphy is.
That was his breakout, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his breakout role, for sure. For sure. Okay, so guess what? We still haven't heard from Ted or Michael about their thoughts of the counter-revolution.
That's right. We were way off the big fan.
I agree with everything you said. In the spirit of keeping it moving.
No, we only got one more date to read. We got time.
Oh. Well, I mean, I love I guess the counter-revolution, the parade band. I mean, that was my jam. That was when like I said, I came in on Purple Rain, and when I saw the Christopher Tracy and all that, that was like, that's my shit right there. Because for me, I really loved, I think my first thing that I fell in love with for real was Possessed from the Syracuse. That whole sequence, Irresistible Bitch. I was like, I'm on that. It reminded me when I saw Prince live for the first time. That was what I was shocked of. I mean, as much as I love the movie, and again, as I said before, Prince to me was a movie thing initially. Like if you went to go see Avengers and that just became your world, that's what Prince was to me. But he was actually he was the Captain America for real, right? So to see him in person in the Tacoma Dome and he starts jamming, like unlike they was really jamming in the movie, I was like, yo, this dude is, this is something different. So when he gets to that point with them, Eric Lee's and all them, that was the template for me. So yeah,
if you want to get out now and dance, it's cool.
Yeah, all that that spoke to me. So I was like, it was just more of that and even better. And like somebody said, you could think it was classier or it was just more sophisticated funk, but what Prince stuff on it. So it was just, and then it keeps evolving with Sign of the Times, where it was where I live and I still live. So, I loved it. And I love the revolution. It's ridiculous. But I think what Celie said, it was all about Prince and was Prince's growth. And so that was where Prince was going. And to me, I didn't think nothing of it. I never even thought about the band members switching out. And it wasn't until I read books like this that I even knew there was any sort of drama between the members. I thought everyone was just having a great time. So from the outside looking into it, it just looked like it kept getting better and better. I never even questioned it, to be honest. Which I can think back now. When I talk to people and stuff, and they would question why was Andre Simone not there and Brown Mark. And I know that now looking back, I see there was a lot of problems with that, from the fans' point of view, which I can understand. So I get it.
All right.
I love this era. I mean, Prince could do no wrong in my opinion, but Eric Leeds and Atlanta Bliss, what they brought, I was fascinated by the horns. And my favorite horn arrangement was that breakdown, the horn arrangements for Another Lover. Oh. Oh, loved it.
Yep.
Loved it. So, Michael Dean, we have to talk. The other night I did a live stream and I was taking Songmaster Pro, and it started off with Another Lover. I'm just kind of playing Another Lover, and I'd gotten the stems from that recording. And then of course my live got demonetized, but I'm going down the rabbit hole, and I stopped focusing on the bass and started tripping off his backing vocal arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in that song, we were brothers and sisters. I mean, just the way that his lead is playing against the counterpoint with his lead and the backing vocals, all that. But I would really love to get with you offline to talk to you about how you are able to manage your streams without the ire of the copyright gods.
Oh, no different than what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I try to do it, sparingly, just so I don't, get my whole channel demonetized. But I mean, I was like, I'm going to do this one song. And then I was on there for 2 hours, just pulling out songs. I'm like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So, yeah, but I love the Counter Revolution.
So right. I think Brother Andre got something, right. Okay. So I'm glad you said that, put that in the chat, Brother Andre. From what I have seen, and I'm sure everybody in the chat and on the screen have seen this, I think that the moment it became real, and Wendy talked about this, Wendy basically after the Japan show goes to Lisa and says, I think that was a wrap. And so, and I think that somebody maybe a couple of years ago, somebody posted that final Japan show. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my favorite bootlegs. I actually got it came out, remember it came out as a double CD, that final, what's it called? September, I think was the bootleg, right? The September bootleg of that. And so Wendy basically says, so to Brother Andre's point, Wendy says to Lisa at the end of that show, I think that's it, that's a wrap. And Lisa's like, no, I don't think so. And I don't know how many days or weeks or so later, they got the call from Prince that he was. So I don't think that the formulation or the expanding of the band, they saw the writing on the wall. But by the time, when Prince tossed that guitar, when they got to that show, something for Wendy clicked and was like, yeah, this is it. And for me, that's just one, again, I'm sure that had to be, not bittersweet, but a difficult moment because they had been on that journey for a long time. So although I'm looking at it from my perspective of Prince was a solo artist, I don't ever want to discount the real emotions and time that the musicians had put in, particularly those early musicians who had been there, to ever discount the way that they would have felt, because they're human beings and they're invested and they have relationships and they have love for each other. And we all understand that love manifests in different ways and friendships manifest in different ways as well. But to Brother Andre's point, the night that Prince slammed down that guitar and that last Japan show was the moment Wendy realized, like, yeah, this is the end of the road. I'll shut up.
I just want to say hello to Andrew. It's great to see you here. All right. So who wants to read the next and final date for this week? It's super short, not Ted.
Dean picked his book up first.
I was going to say, Michael Dean, read it.
Oh, damn.
So Wednesday, February 5th. It's short.
Okay. Kiss, backed by Love or Money, was released as the leadoff single from Parade, but there was opposition from Warner Brothers. He gave it to them and they hated it, recalls David Z. They said, "We can't put this out. There's no bass. Sounds like a demo." I just can't believe somebody would say that to Prince at this point. It's crazy to me, but I guess Prince must have had enough power to say, "You're not getting another song. That's the one you're going to get." Despite the pushback, Kiss reached #1, his first since Let's Go Crazy, where it stayed for 2 weeks, as well as the top position on the Hot R&B Singles Chart, known then as the Hot Black Singles Chart, remaining there for 4 weeks. You could really see the resistance of the corporate power of a major record label to something that was so different from what they were expecting, according to David Z. The record was up against the paranoia of radio and the power of corporate record labels. That time, the record and the artist won. Note, Eric Leeds' work was a vital part of the family album, but Love or Money, which was the proper, or Love or Money, was the first release by Prince to feature him. Oh, that's interesting.
All right. So my question to all of you on the stage, as well as all of you in the chat. So if you could have like a chat storm right now, I would love to see it. I want to know, when it comes to Kiss single, are you team Kiss or do you immediately flip the record over for the B-side, Love or Money? What say you, Michael Dean? Back in the day.
Initially, I guess I was Kiss. I mean, that's what made me buy it. And the 12-inch, I mean, this is the long version. So I guess I would say Kiss. I mean, I love Love or Money, though.
What about you, C. Lee?
So in real time, first time I heard, I'm gonna really date myself, ourselves. First time I heard Kiss was coming from a brother who had a 1986 Nissan Pulsar with souped-up bass in the trunk.
Yeah.
And that goddamn Kiss came out of that 1986 Nissan Pulsar with that souped-up bass in the trunk. I remember it was night. It was dark. He was cruising down the street. We were all standing out on the corner. And I heard that shit. I heard Kiss come out that goddamn Nissan Pulsar. And the first thought I thought was, remember I told you there are moments when Prince turns me into George Jefferson, right? Can't nobody tell me shit. Like there's just time. Prince just, every time I got just different moments that a Prince song would turn me into George Jefferson. So when I heard that, all right, so then I go get the single, then the 12-inch comes out, and I listen to Kiss, I turn over Love or Money. Like they both, there's not a fall off. There's not a fall off. So in real time, Kiss was that shit to me. Love or Money was not a fall off. But I will say this, Kiss is one of those 3 or 4 songs that every time I hear it, it's like the first time I ever heard it. And I don't try to intellectualize it. I don't try to, me writing about Prince's lyrics and all of that. But Kiss, that's one of the songs. Oddly enough, another one is Colonized Mind. But Kiss is a song that the way I felt about it, the very first time I heard it, is the way I feel about it right. I want to pull my goddamn shirt up and show my stomach and dance every time I hear this. That's just, I mean, it's just the baddest. It is just the baddest effing thing that you ever want to hear. So in real time, I was listening to them both equally, but Kiss was just something different. All right, I'll shut up.
But the thing is, I know some of you are saying like both or whatever, but what was great about physical media and 12 inches and 7 inches, like you could decide which side you put on.
No doubt. You didn't have to, like I said, you didn't have to flip it over. I think that's your point, was that you're looking for the people who didn't ever flip it over. Like it stayed on one side or the other. And I was one of those people that it would go off, I would turn it over and then play the other one. So yeah. But I'm with you on that point that people were making decisions not to flip one of them over.
Yeah. And so for me, I was Love and Money all day. I guess I did like the Kiss extended version for the guitar, like the guitar alone. But if it wasn't for the extended version, it would have stayed on Love and Money. And I love this comment from Bodhisattva, who's one of my people, because this is what I used to do. I used to play it on both 45 and 33 1/3 because it was bumping either way. So that's another reason why I always stayed. And I did that also with Scarlett as well. I would play it at 2.
Scarlett Pussy.
Angela, you are my spirit animal.
Yeah. Because that's why vinyl is important. Okay, speaking of vinyl, we'll go.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Pussycat, where had I to? All right, go ahead.
Hey man, somebody put on Kiss so see we can stand up and pull his shirt up.
Hilarious.
Oh my God, Celie, don't get me started on Scarlett. Oh my God, I could play that for a whole year and I'd be fine, just on repeat. When that song came out, I went crazy.
Hey, but B-sides back then were like, I didn't really care about the single because I knew I could hear the single anywhere, but the B-sides were always popping. B-sides were popping.
Yes. Scarlet Pussy was one of those when you put it on, you just like, for real, this what the fuck you doing? You this motherfucking nasty, this motherfucking bad dude? Like was you like this? Hilarious. With the headphones on so your people couldn't hear? Like listening to Richard Pryor. Remember that? Now by then, I was in college. I think by then I was in college, so I kind of like had my own little.
Oh, you was grown.
Yeah, I had my own little setup, and just remember like staring at the damn stereo, like, oh, this motherfucker really doing this shit. Like that's all I could think when I would hear that. And I think somebody put in about the question about when the video came out that spring. The Kiss video came out that spring before the movie came out, because the movie came out in summer, if I'm not mistaken. So the Kiss video came out that spring. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So what I was going to do? Oh, I was going to do this. So this is my original 12-inch. I love all of the 12 inches, with the exception of Another Level Hole in Your Head. In terms of, I'm talking about the covers, because it broke with the black and white scheme that we have here. And this is like one of the best 12-inch images ever. So shout out to Laura LaPuma, who Michael Dean interviewed. So if you haven't watched that Michael Dean interview with Laura LaPuma, highly recommend it. Then you flip it over and you got Miss Wendy on the back, which is amazing. And then I also pulled out, and I'm not doing this to flex. And to be honest, I'm doing this to remember what I have, because sometimes I forget. This
is a history lesson. Keep the history lesson coming.
I forgot that there is a picture disc, which is incredible.
That's crazy.
And then you got your.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the beauty. This is a beauty.
See, you were smart. You didn't cut the thing out so you could play it.
Oh no. No. So, and one other thing I want to show you really quickly, one of the things I loved about this particular release was that it was black and white. Now, this is before the film came out.
Yeah.
I didn't, maybe I don't even know if I knew that probably I knew the film was going to be in black and white, but I think it was fantastic that this was black and white.
Right.
So you got Kiss white side, Lover Money black side. Think about that. Okay. I thought that was like really, really, really cool.
I don't think people will really remember. Well, we'll remember, but I don't think people will really understand the real importance of when you put those record things up. You just had the little inner. I don't even know what those are called anymore, but just seeing that alone, it just brings back so many memories of having these 12 inches. I obsess over what it said, the way that it was laid out, just everything about it, just brings back so many memories. We didn't have much back then. You had the picture, like you showed on the cover, and you had these, man. And it was like, these just meant something. To me, it's a feeling. I can just remember being a teenager playing these records over and over. Just seeing that brings it all back. It's just interesting. I don't know if it'd be hard to convey what that feels like. I don't know if there's something today that maybe today they'll think of when they used to doom scroll so much as a kid. Who knows what they're doing 30 years later, but this was our scrolling. Like I would just I would look through my records over and pull it out. Let me listen to this one. So.
The beautiful thing about that time and the tyranny, we didn't have the tyranny of choice, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I got the Another Lover 12-inch, which I still has the plastic on it.
Wow.
And I had 2 records that I got that summer. I was in Baton Rouge, and I got Robert Palmer's Riptide and that, and I had those with me at my aunt's house in BR, and I just played the record over and over. And when I played it, I closed my eyes. You know what I mean? I could, I could either have the image of the video performance in my head or make up my own thing. That was the beauty. There's a really cool series on YouTube. I don't know the name of it off top, but they talk about like the psychology of Gen X and why Gen Xers are the way that they are. And one of the things that they mentioned was this just kind of being left to your imagination.
I can understand that. Yeah. I always think now I was telling my daughter, I'm gonna keep it real quick. My youngest daughter, I was like, okay, you're not watching the YouTube. I want you to be bored. Because I think the art of boredom is kind of getting lost because there's so many other things you could do, but we was bored back then. And that made us create different shit and figure something out. Because I wasn't just going to sit there and look at the wall all day. So I'll either go outside or I'm going to sit here and figure, what's Prince going to do? Maybe I can do some music, or let me try my painting or something. It just made us become creative. And, I think the art of being bored is, almost got to instill that into people.
I'll find something for you to do.
Right.
Right.
I'll find something for you to do.
You didn't want, because you can go out there and cut them grass and do all these dishes, or you can go something together. Yeah.
I love this comment from Tanja. That's where creativity lives. And Dre Dancer said they saw that Ted. Ted, you're gonna have to share that with me. I would love to watch that YouTube series. There's a couple of comments that I want to make sure I make time for, and this one was posted at the beginning, but then I got a follow-up one that I saved it. Okay. So Scott said, because of last week's episode, I listened to the Jill Jones album. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, because I wanted to come back to this.
Violet Blue.
Yes, and I agree with you, should be off the album, and maybe if I could get your attention to replace. I thought that was a really interesting replacement for With You, which went to Taja. Go ahead, Lee.
So leave it up. So I'm gonna disagree, but I'm gonna agree.
Okay.
Remember, I've told you that one of the things I love about this podcast is that y'all make me go back and listen to albums.
Mm-hmm.
I was tripping last week. I really was. And when I say I was tripping last week, because I was kind of lukewarm, and then I went back and I remember like, oh fuck, I did listen to Jill. It came out in 80. Like there was nothing on that album I didn't like. And what I liked about, because I had to go back and re-listen to it, this is the blues got me coming out. I like the fact that Jill's version of With You is a very bluesy version.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't like the blues, I get if you don't like the blues or you hearing it, I can understand why you wouldn't like it. One, also because we all kind of agreed on we don't like covers. At least we didn't want to cover. We want a new song. So yes. I didn't want to cover. But what I liked about With You is that it was again another nod that my favorite artist was into the blues. I also forgot how much I really love My Man.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so again, just like I said, y'all have reclaimed some of the Apollonia 6 album for me because I had one song off that and I was like done with it. So y'all
Which song?
Oh, Sex Shooter was the only one I liked. Like Sex Shooter was
that song was that album was hot like fish grease.
Right, that was it. But like for the love for all these years, and then when we get back to it, and I went back and I went like, oh damn. Like so now I'm up to 3 or 4 songs off the Apollonia 6 album as opposed to just one. And then going back, and like I said, and now going back from last week and just listening to it, I'm gonna be honest with you. Remembering now, and it makes you wonder, maybe y'all can speak to this too. It makes you wonder about albums that you liked, but then years later you remember like, why haven't I listened to this in a long time? And maybe it's time, and maybe it's other thing. But I remember, and this will probably get my card kind of taken, because I remember when Fruit at the Bottom came out, and I used to listen to Jill's record and Fruit at the Bottom kind of back to back. Like they kind of had that same kind of synergy. So for years, I listened to those 2 albums like they were a double album. So I just wanted to say that I was really kind of tripping because, like I said, I went back like probably like Wednesday, and I said, and I went like, and then the memory started coming back. And I go, fuck yeah, I really, and I need to stop cussing. I don't know why I'm cussing so much.
You're going off today.
But so I want to say to Brother McCullough,
you're on your sexy MF era.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Brother McCullough, for bringing that up, because I had a note, but we got way off into the salon early. But I had put a note that I wanted to go back to last week and talk about just how much I really did in real time love like. There's not one song on that album that I didn't like. All right, I'll shut up.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the second comment that I gotta highlight because this just really warms my heart, Monica. Speaking of a 12-inch, I purchased all the Jill Jones vinyl D'Angelo shared last week. That's incredible. I'm so happy. And I mean, I'm a ride or die for Jill Jones, and particularly for the Jill Jones album. It is so underrated. And I think it should get more love. That album is incredible. And I'm thankful that I was able to give Jill Jones her flowers at the Triple Threat 40 Symposium.
Yes.
Meant the world to me. And to see her, so Ted, we got to see her perform Lady Cab Driver with a local musician, Chris Robb.
It was wonderful.
Fire, 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 fire. So I'm so grateful for Jill. And that album was like immaculate.
I know Violet Blue was on the tape.
Yeah.
It was on the tape. And I used to try to figure out how to let's get that on.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm glad you mentioned Violet Blue, because it made me think about something else. Because I've been critical of David Z, but I want to give David Z his props too. Because David Z, like you're right, we wouldn't get this Jill Jones album without David Z. But you know what's really brilliant about Jill's album? What David Z, we know how it opens, right? It opens with Jill doing this gospel thing. What's brilliant about that is that riff is taken from the end of Prince's demo. So they took the gospel. So if you listen to Prince's Trip and a Half, right? If you listen to Prince's demo of Trip and a Half, Prince had a gospel riff at the end of it. David Z takes Jill Jones's interpolation of that riff and puts it at the beginning of the song. To me, that was just genius for them to think about opening this, because what they're doing is they're opening the song by saying, hey, this ain't no damn pop cutie pie who can't sing. They're laying down the gauntlet that no, Jill Jones can sing, and we gonna open with this gospel riff. So now that when you get into the funk and you get into the kind of pop layers of it, don't forget that this album opens with a gospel riff. And until us revisiting that last week, I had completely forgotten that that's how that album actually begins. So yeah, so props to David Z, who I have to give props to him, even though I'm still mad what he said about how black people wasn't digging Prince early. But props to David Z, because if you love the Jill Jones album, you have to love David Z's production on that album. All right, that's it.
How come we can't find Jill Jones that Violet Blue album streaming anywhere or on any platform?
Well, the same for Apollonia 6, the same for I think Vanity 6 as well, right? I don't think Vanity 6 is streaming either. So, that's one thing that I'm not clear on, but maybe I am clear just because of they're not on there. So when Prince got his masters back, I'm thinking he only got the Prince masters back. I don't think he got Vanity 6, the time, and all of that. That's what I want to know, like Apollonia 6, like who owns that? So if Warner Brothers still owns the masters to Jill Jones, the family, Madhouse, like all the non-Prince stuff, I'm curious, like who owns the copyright right now. I don't know if the estate has that or if it's Warner Brothers.
Scott saying you could stream it on YouTube Music. Interesting.
And you?
I think YouTube Music is playing YouTube videos through that. So when people upload those songs,
right?
Yeah. I think the only Paisley Park stuff aside from Prince is Sheila E. That's on streaming, and then the Time albums. But all the other associated albums are not on streaming for whatever reason.
Nope.
And you got to go back and listen to that Apollonia 6 album, though, Celie.
No, I did. Like I said, they've got me up from one song to I think 3 or 4. I know it's Blue Limousine.
Million Miles got to be in that lineup.
Yeah, Million Miles. Yeah, Million Miles, Blue Limousine, and now Sex Shooter. And y'all got me up because, like I said, I was like one and done. I was like a college basketball player. I was one and done. But this platform has made. That's what I really loved about it. So I wanted to say that talking about Jill's album last week made me go back to it and made me realize, like, no, I really dug this. And to Brother Bernay's point, yes, Brother Bernay, you are correct. And don't forget that Ray Charles actually did a whole country album. So yes, it wasn't just blues and country and that connection. Ray Charles it's a really great album. Ray Charles sings country. It's a really great album. That's it.
Since we on that, since real fast, and since it's Black History Month, all American music is Black music. Just want to say that.
Don't get no argument from me.
My Willie D slow clap.
All of it. Country, all of it is Black music.
All that. God damn it.
So Scott brought up Taja's album. We love all the albums. With for me, I wasn't into 3 o'clock, but
that's a good question.
Yeah. Yes. So the main ones, yes, yes. There you go, LTKK, all of it. That's right.
I don't think I've even heard the 3 o'clock album, nor have I heard A Good Question.
You know what?
And this is my man, in the same way I put my man. Well, actually, I bought TC's album. Let me stop. I did buy TC's record.
Okay, so Brother Dean, let me tell you this. Yeah, I bought TC's album, and it is
Salute
what it
to
is.
TC.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I saw the 3 o'clock video, and when I saw Good Question, and when I saw that video, I was like, yeah, this is not an album I'm gonna get. That was my reaction was like, yep. I would look at that was the day I knew it was like, damn, I'm not gonna have every Paisley Park release.
Right. Well, I would say that it seemed like, and y'all can, did it seem like Good Question was kind of blowing a little bit? Like, I felt like I seen that video a lot of times on TV. Like, they was trying to get that
it was trying to get that
Milli Vanilli type of vibe.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. But I felt like I was like, why is this working? But I was like, oh, well, okay. But I just couldn't get with it.
I remember the Good Question. I remember Good Question, but I can't even remember.
I remember how much I didn't enjoy that song, and went, man, this will be the first Prince related release I'm not gonna have. Like, just like I was out, and you know what? Which I feel bad because there may be something on that album that I might have done.
Right.
But from that one song, I was like, nah, I'm out. And to Nick Felton, I love Tony Lamons' album. Like, I play Tony Lamons' album. So I have Tony Lamons' album.
I put that up for our timekeeper so she can see that we finished with the reading of the week.
we read all our reading.
We read all our reading.
Sorry, Kim.
So I have Del Bozio's album. Why? Because I was a massive, to this day, Missing Persons fan. If you don't know who Missing Persons is,
I get it.
Googles, as Michael Dean would say. And there is I can't remember what show it is, but there's a show, a live concert on YouTube where Missing Persons is performing. Del Bozio's voice is very distinctive, and I was super excited about her Paisley Park release. Unfortunately, Prince didn't really have nothing to do with him. So I was disappointed because I thought that there was going to be like this amazing marriage between Del Bozio and Prince's music, and it didn't happen for me, but I bought it because of Del Bozio. Don't sleep on Del Bozio. If you don't like the Paisley Park release, I understand, but go back to Missing Persons and you will find out.
What was their like kind of big song? Was there like a one big song Missing Persons?
Oh no, Missing Persons had
well, I mean, I know they probably had. I'm just saying, is there one that you could say that I might know or something?
I don't even know the name of. I think the main lyric is "Do you hear me? Do you care?" It is, and the name of the song is "What a Word's For." And another really big song was "Nobody Walks in L.A." They did this brilliant cover of The Doors, "Hello, I Love You."
Were they like on MTV a lot?
Oh yeah. So she had blonde hair, and it was always like pink and yellow, different colors.
I know it. Yeah, I know it.
This is how I'll know if you know who she is. So
Terry Bozio played drums.
Yeah, Terry Bozio. They were married at one point. So do you remember doing Love Sexy, the Love Sexy poster for Sheila E. when she had on those glass cups over her?
Yeah.
That was from Del Bozio. Del did that first.
Okay.
And so Del would do that. So she was very much in the new wave. That Missing Persons is new wave. Like new wave.
Was she in movies or something?
I don't think.
Was there something like it was some white lady and always the chest was always kind of half out.
That was kind of all of the white ladies in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. It was like a punk. I don't know.
I'm asking about the bald-headed black guy. Which one?
Okay, there you go.
Michael Dean, just
I'll look her. I'll do my Google.
Missing Persons. You want to search for Missing Persons? Incredible. There were. I mean, to be honest, I listen to Missing Persons to this day. In fact, like a year ago, I got on a huge Missing Persons kick where I was just listening. I listened to Missing Persons last year for about 6 months straight because that's all I wanted to hear. She wrote a book. She talks about Prince in that book. If you want to read about her and Prince, And actually, the lead singer from Smashing Pumpkins, did an amazing interview with her. I'm really, really bad with names. I don't know. So he has a podcast. So yes, and I think this is from Do You Hear Me? Do You Care? It's like What Are Words For is the name of the song. That's probably the one that's known the most. Okay. All right. So we've already talked about this. What?
Wait a minute.
Destination Unknown is another really good song by Missing Person. Thank you for that.
Kim said she's an advocate for future viewers. That's hilarious.
What? I didn't see it.
Kim is hilarious.
I still don't see it, but I have to go back and look at. Okay, so we already talked about Sheila on Sean Stockman, so definitely check that out because I'm all about Sheila. And remember, we're having our upcoming symposium that I'm getting super, super, super excited about, which will be April 17th through 19th. The 17th will be virtual, all virtual. 18th and 19th will be in person at NYU, but I am announcing, because if you look at the website, because I had said I am not doing a live stream this year, but a couple people twisted my arm and I will live stream the 18th and 19th. I was able to raise the funds to do that. So the 18th and 19th will be live stream for those of you who can't make it. And remember to find out, all of the speakers have been posted. They're subject to change because they're super early right now. And you can find the schedule at a glance at iwonderyou.polissolid.com in the menu, schedule at a glance. And then if you want to pre-register and be kept abreast of announcements, you will go to iwonderyou40.substack.com, which is different from iwonderyou.polissolid, which does not have a 40. And for those of you who are coming, it is so important that you buy your tickets to see Law. He's going to bring it, and that's going to be on Friday, April 17th at the Cutting Room in New York City. And then for those of you who are headed to Minneapolis in June, there's going to be another Prince conference that I don't have anything to do with, but it's done by the International Center for Prince Studies. They do amazing, amazing, amazing work. It's going to be an amazing conference that I really wanted to attend, but I have a conflict with an NYU event, so I won't be there. So Dance On, the Cultural, Sonic, and Symbolic Legacy of Prince, and Academic and Fan Conference, which will be in Minneapolis, June 1st and 2nd. So they are actually seeking presentations. So if you want to put your name in the hat, you can, and you can see I'll turn off the comments really quickly so you can see it. IC4PScontact@gmail.com for International Center for Prince Studies contact, because you know how we love our acronyms. And there's going to be celebration June 3rd to 7th. And then we want to make sure that we keep our Purple family in mind. Again, Troy's cancer, unfortunately, is back. So send them a kind word. Contribute to this GoFundMe if you can. Definitely send them a kind word. The same for Dr. Fungenberry. Send them a kind word when you can. Please help him through his GoFundMe. The same thing with Addie Durrett. She's Purple family as well. Please send the kind word or a GoFundMe. And then Des Dickerson has a GoFundMe. So this is in the accompanying playlist. I saw your comment, Kim, about the accompanying playlist. Thank you so much for giving feedback about that, because sometimes I go, I don't know if anybody's using these accompanying playlists. I have added some more to this list, and we'll add Midnight Stars video to this. So one of the things that I'm going to add is I am going to re-upload the interview with Jerome that I did. I'm going to edit it a little bit and see if YouTube will take it. So for those of you who missed that in real time, particularly since the symposium is all about Under the Cherry Moon, and the majority of that conversation is about Under the Cherry Moon. So I thought that would be, that's pretty funny, about Insane Clown 4 Posse for IC4P. Thank you, Myron, for letting me know that, Yeah. And I love this. Tandra's is saying purchase Troy's art. That would be, that's really good.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because his art is amazing. Let me show you real quick. Hold on 1 second. This is a Troy original that I have. It's right by me. Right? Look at that. It is super heavy. So I have to be like very careful that he doesn't fall over. And definitely want to support Troy. And then thank you so much, Drea Dances and Chris Bournet and Christina, everybody. Oh, thank you so much for the love for the talk I did for Dara is amazing. Really loved being on the stage with her. Super rare. Okay, so in addition to the accompanying playlist, we also have Ricky's playlist. So if you miss Ricky like I do, I listen to something every week just so I can hear his voice. And so he has his own special playlist, and I will be adding more of the Grown Folks Music podcasts to those as I edit them. And please donate to the Crons and Colitis Foundation in memory of Ricky. And the link is bit.ly/theflesh for the Flesh sessions. And we were reading about that around the time he passed. So that's the reason why I did that. It really stuck with me. And we just, again, want to say that we stand with Minnesota. And if you want to contribute to mutual aid and all of that, there are tons of resources on the standwithminnesota.com. So with that being said, does anyone have any parting words before Michael Dean takes us out? And look at us, Kim. One. Look at that, Kim. 1, 5, 1. You can't say nothing about me.
Long live Pretty Ricky. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Pretty Ricky. That's right.
Thank y'all. This is always a highlight of my time and my week. And I as I always say, tell somebody you love them, and hug somebody that you want to hug. Let's make sure we do that every day. And I thank each of you on the screen. I thank everybody in the chat. You guys are like, if you know about Black Church Southern Revival, for me, I get to have revival once a week with y'all, and I appreciate y'all. That's it.
Yes, and just before we head out, yes, I didn't watch the Grammys in real time because I don't do that no more. Like unless Prince is president, I'm not watching a like that kind of show anymore. But I love Bilal doing Untitled. I thought that was a really great choice for him. I really wish he just would have sung all the songs, but I am AAA Bilal fan, so that's just me.
And to the people who got here late, if you go back to the beginning of the show, the other three on the screen did talk about the tribute. So you can hear Brother Dean, Brother Ted, and Prof. Duffs talking about this. So if you got here late, go to the beginning of the stream, and they give you the 411, as they say, on the tribute. That's it for me.
All right, Michael, take us out.
All right. Hey, another great show. Thank you, Ted, for blessing us and coming through, man. Always appreciate you. Celie, every time, all the time. We love you. D'Angela, we love you. We love everything that you do. Thank you for setting this all up. And of course, everybody in the audience. It wouldn't be the show without y'all. So you are the stars as well. You know, and what does this say? Ted, are you teams or Lord? Lordy Lord. You got to be a regular viewer to know that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know, just don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Handshake.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore going on around here. So with that said, working like a job. I guess we'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.
Peace.